Well, welcome back to the Distil-Nation NZ podcast. My name is Tom. I'm joined with my friend Cameron, as always.
As always, good to be here.
Today we've got Stu and Kenny from Rifters Gin. Rifters Distillery.
Rifters Distillery.
Spirits. Yeah. How's it going, guys?
Yeah, very good. Very good.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks
for having us.
Yeah, we're excited because you've brought some gins and one more gin potentially running to us at the moment. So I think we're just a bit excited to hear a bit more about who you guys are. I think you're down in Arrowtown, is that right?
Yeah.
Yep. So what's the deal? Where are we at?
What's the deal? That's a good question. It's always the best place to start, isn't it? Where did you start?
Yeah.
Do you want to take it away, Stuart? Well, do you want me to talk about you?
Do you want to start right from the start,
Go
I guess?
for it.
So I've got a bit of a passion for spirits and gin. Dad was an avid gin drinker here up in North Canterbury. So I shifted down to Arrowtown in early 2002. Met my wife down there and then started a family. Got 3 girls. So Kate's from Invercargill and 2018 my brother-in-law is English, so we decided to head over to the UK with them for a wee trip. So at the time I had a very good friend, Grant Finn. He was the GM down at NZ Whiskey.
Oh, yeah.
So old Finny, got bigger. Yeah. So we used to help him quite a bit going down there, and then I got quite interested in what was going on. So then we went to the UK and I did 5 or 6 distillery tours over there, and then on the plane on the way home, I just sort of wrote a bit of stuff down on a serviette, and we decided that Arrowtown would be a great place to start a distillery, and I mean the first port of call was probably a gin. And we just set the ball rolling really, and Finney was pretty influential in how we started and get everything going. So nice. It's certainly been a tough road getting everything going. Like it's not just a bottle on the shelf that goes into this thing.
You set your standards very high though. That's I think where it becomes difficult.
Yeah.
You're just putting things out there. It's another story, but yeah, it had to be perfect.
I guess the first protocol is like being in the building industry. Like you have a quick side shift, and it gives us the ability to have that side shift or quick decision. You've got to make a quick decision and get on with it. So I think that's been really good for what we've designed and what we've done. Going forward, that's been amazing.
So down there, are you in some sort of purpose-built place for it, or where are you?
No, so it's on our own property. So we've got 5 acres, 4.5 too much in Arrowtown.
Fair bit of land in Arrowtown, isn't it?
Yeah, just out of Arrowtown. So I'm a builder by trade, and still am a builder. So we run a team of nine builders as well, and this one's been tagging along the side. Well, it's not so much on the side now. It's pretty full steam ahead. So, but having that ability to being a builder, I think it's just been amazing. From the start to the finish. So
it's funny. Whenever we want anything, we just say, Stu, we want this, and he builds it. He makes it happen. Our shop down in Arrowtown is an amazing sort of a tell for that. We opened up in November. Little Dudley's Cottage, just beside the distillery.
I know.
And you walk in there, and it looks like it was built for us, but really Stu put his hand to it and got everything just gleaming. And such a cool little mecca for rifters and spirits.
Very nice.
And then I guess how we came about is obviously I had this idea, had this dream that we started, and then Hamish Burke, so he used to be a builder foreman for me 10 years ago, well over 10 years ago. So he actually left me building and went and did his digital marketing degree.
Oh, okay.
So he left, and then in the interim of this idea, he came back and did a wee bit of work building the shed. Actually, we are in now.
Yeah.
So it's a big old shed. So then I just floated an idea past him. Coming from that digital marketing background, what do you think of this idea? So we sort of banged heads together, and sort of away we went really.
Yeah.
And got everything going. So Hamish actually joined forces. Must have been early April 2020. It was probably just before lockdown. I might have been before lockdown actually. We're well and truly going before lockdown. So
Because that was March.
March, yeah.
Yeah.
So it would have been before that.
All right.
Yeah, so Hamish came full time and we managed to rub heads together and get designs going and bottle designs, names. That's a goodie.
Before we get to names, Kenny, how do you jump in? How do you factor into the picture?
So I arrived onto the scene in, was it October, November last year?
Yep.
I saw an advertisement Stu and Hamish had posted, and two advertisements. I phoned up and said, look, I might be the guy you're looking for. There's a couple of opportunities in your business. I have a bit of experience in the alcohol industry. I used to work for Arrowtown Distillery back for about 5 years, and I can see everything that's happening with Rifters. We're going in the right direction. We've got like quality spirits, quality branding, quality marketing, and good people behind it. So I think the idea it has to do well. You know, it's a fantastic product. High standards, it's always the way.
I was going to say, I'm glad I didn't wear my Herrick Creek top because I've actually used the same blue check.
So I could give you a little badge. I could give you a little badge.
We'll just swap them. Yeah. But no, it's cool. Now, I remember the bottles didn't always used to be these bottles, did they? Because I thought they were something different.
It has
a while
changed.
back,
It has changed, and we won't go into that.
Okay.
Into that here today, but I think we've changed it for the better.
Oh, definitely.
So
they're pretty cool.
So I mean, starting with the name, I guess. I mean, it took us about a year to find a name, and in every rabbit hole you went down, there was some other one. Someone else had the name or had it throughout the world. So so trying to trademark, a name is just pretty bloody hard. So we came up. We had a big board on the wall in the shed early days, and 2 4x12, and we had everything on whiteboard marker, and we wanted to have a name around the gold era, the gold mining history of Arrowtown, a real nod to those sort of people. So we were looking around the gold mining equipment or that era. So we came up with the name, a rift. So a rift is a crack in the earth or a crack in the ice. So there's plenty of rifts around Arrowtown, which the gold miners used to. So then we extended it to rifters. So a rifter is a fosker and forager in search of the elusive nuggets on the rifts of Arrowtown. So anyone can be a rifter. Good bugger, got to be a good bugger. Everyone in our camp is a rifter or rifting around somewhere.
Yeah.
So that's the name. That's where the name came from. And we've brought the gold of the Arrowtown gold fields into it, and this is our gold seam coming through the front of the bottle by a mountainous range, reflection of our mountainous range in the bottom as well.
Oh, and the label tells a story. I love it.
Everything about the bottle tells a story.
So the little that little on the back of the bottle we've got the wee A, so A for Arrowtown. So
also a little arrowhead. She's
So and then we've got it's how the crazy mind thinks at 2 o'clock in the morning, doesn't it?
Sure. Yep.
So we've got our 5 main peaks. So these are our 5 main peaks of the Wakatipu. So it basically rains in the mountains, runs down the rifts, and collects in the lake. So and you could actually call this a lake out there.
Oh, I see, on the bottom of the bottle.
Yeah. So that's
I was kind of looking at the lines on the side of the bottle and thinking like the lip of the gold miner's pen. That's where my
that could be. That could be as well. There you go. For free. Should we have a gin?
appreciate that.
So everything's plastic free. So that was something that we really wanted to work hard on to start with, because once you got plastic in the camp, it's really hard to get rid of.
Yeah.
Especially plastic caps, and you're sending a cold spirit to Auckland, and all of a sudden they'd chuck it in the back of the car, and the bloody caps pop off.
Yes.
And you got a gin smelling scented car. So keeping the cork in certainly has its challenges.
I've seen that too, yeah. And we had a chat about the corks a while back, and Cameron was in the camp of, we got to use plastic screw
No,
caps.
if you can reuse those caps and you're encouraging their reuse, then yes, I am for that.
But this, wood, a natural cork. I like that.
Yeah, so that's called a Diam cork. So it's basically a natural cork that's been macerated and then glued back together with food grade glue.
Yeah.
But so everything's plastic free. Even the glue on the paper's plastic free. So
yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And Kiwi Labels in Christchurch do all our labels for us.
Yeah.
Now, real important question, from North Canterbury, but now living in the heart of Central Otago, like do you still bleed red and black in the heart of blue and gold country?
Shit, that's a good question.
Can he say?
I definitely bleed the black. No, I'm a bit of sitting on the fence there, really.
Oh.
Halfway. Actually born in Dunedin.
Oh, okay. All right.
So yeah, shifted here when I was about 5.
It's a complex piece of history here. There's a lot going on.
Yeah. Well, mum and dad are North Canterbury people, so
Yeah.
then they shifted down here. Dad was a stock agent, and then sort of grew up on a farm. So they've got the can-do attitude. Get in, get stuck in, and get it done.
Amen.
Well, then should we try some gin? Should we have a drink?
Please.
It is early in the morning.
Which one should we start with? And because you've mentioned a few times having these exacting standards, these high standards, so we'll open the first one and you can tell us what you were aiming for and what you were wanting to achieve with it.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Yeah,
I think you start in the beginning. The original dry is the best place to begin.
Oh, I like this sound. There we go.
And you don't get that from a plastic screw
don't.
cap.
No, you don't.
And like that was sort of part of, like what I tried really hard to do, and Hamish as well, right at the start, is that we've always built really nice houses and strived for success of getting awards, entering in the House of the Year. I think it's a great marketing thing, and I've tried to follow that right through the whole process of we want to win awards and we want to be the best on the market, as well as everyone else that's trying to do the same.
It's a premium spirit as well, and there's no point cutting corners. It's all about creating the best that you can make. That without lemon in there almost smells as if there's a piece of lemon already.
It does, actually, yeah.
Yeah, big hit of citrus, but it's unmistakably a dry style.
Yeah. So this is an enhanced London dry. So we've increased the flavour profile. So we wanted people to kind of take a hold of this and think, oh, that's a bigger, bolder gin than you'd find. We wanted lots and lots of flavours. So.
And this is like what we call probably a nod to the gold mine, the old Arrowtown gold miner. So this is what the gold miners used to drink in the early days. So that's sort of everything's got a bit of a story, we've got a bit of a theme going right through, don't we?
Yeah, it tells the story of Arrowtown. Everything that we do is to tell the story of Arrowtown, and it's quite good fun to kind of put ourselves in that mindset as well. The rifter really comes out, the fossicker and forager. You look for any opportunity.
Yeah, and it's not only just Arrowtown, it's our surrounding area, it's our mountains, it's our lakes, our rivers, Central Otago district. It's such an awesome...
It's a community.
Yeah.
It's an awesome spot.
Yeah.
Is there a secret? Is everything in it a secret, or are we allowed to?
No, we've got 12 botanicals.
Oh, wow.
12 simple botanicals.
Yeah.
And we just give it a wee bit more oomph at the end with a wee bit more botanical to make it a little bit better than a London dry, I think. So that's our,
Yeah.
And the awards have certainly shown that.
Yeah, totally.
We always find a little bit of time kind of coming through in our spirits as well. Not as evident in the original dry, but you'll see it a lot more in the... It's our surrounding. It's everywhere around Central Otago. So
and everything's on a grain spirit.
Yeah.
So we're trying to keep away from the other spirits that are supplied, but I think this just gives you a bit more softer palate.
Yeah.
Nicer texture.
Yeah, and a little bit more of a sipping. All our gins we could class as a sipping gin. You could just put it on ice or just have them on their own. And
there's nothing harsh about it at all.
No, it's bold. Like, don't get me wrong, that nose is bold, but no, it's big hit of lemon, juniper. Yeah, I'm glad you said thyme because there was something grassy about it.
I always like that texture it leaves at the top of your palate. It's got that nice...
It's actually really nice after a coffee too.
at 9:30 in the morning.
I'll be honest, if I'm tasting spirits at the distillery, I've always got a cup of coffee with me. It's always coffee, drink, coffee, drink.
Oh, it's true. It's good reset for the
Yeah,
olfactory.
that's quite amazing, really.
Yeah. And she's the classic gin for your cocktails as well. And of course, it stands up to a gin and tonic. It doesn't go so left field that people are thinking, "Gosh, oh yeah, this is one of the crazy gins that rifters have created." This is to really, I suppose, the classic gin that people are expecting, and that was what you wanted to give to the for your first gin, especially the classic. You have a gin that really wholeheartedly says, "Look, I'm going to be the best."
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
So what's the local ingredients for the botanicals? I'm sure there's some from...
So we're just 12 basic botanicals.
Yeah.
For this one, it doesn't go too local.
Yeah.
This one just goes with the best quality.
Yeah, right.
So I think sometimes you can make the most local gin. It doesn't necessarily mean it's the best gin.
Sure.
For this one, you go out and you get the best juniper, the best coriander, the best citrus, and work towards making
Good on you.
a classic. The next one, we go much more for the local flavour. That was really, Arrowtown in a bottle. As far as we could kind of squeeze as much of that flavour of our location into a glass.
And I think like where we wanted to start is probably just a good, easy drinking gin that everyone loves, but a lot of people, once you get into your botanical gins, a lot of people don't like those big bold flavours, and you want something for every palate. Without going too left field and too right field, like that's probably where we wanted to just sit, just a good, easy drinking gin, and I think this is where this one sits.
Yeah.
That's the challenge where, any and every distillery that's making a gin is making a classic style. So how do you stand out when everybody's doing it? But that's just, there's something that's extra, like it's a classic dry, and there aren't any surprises with the flavour.
It's enhanced,
but it just takes it up to 11. I love that mouthfeel, that silky kind of texture that just, again, I think I had my sip about 30 seconds ago, and it's still just kind of sitting on there. That's just a classic taken to a next level. I love it.
I like to let people know as well that if you do fancy a small G&T, like a smaller gin, you'll still understand that there's gin in the glass. It has that taste that kind of cuts through the tonic. The idea of did I put gin in my tonic? That's a sad one. And I guess people, they want to cut down on what they're consuming in some houses, not mine, but in some houses, and I think that's the good alternative to that, big and bold, like you say.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people have made the mistake of bringing out a gin that not everyone likes.
Yeah.
And I think it's it may have tarnished their brand a wee bit. Like I'm not saying that to. But you bring out a gin that someone doesn't like, well, they're not going to go back to your brand, are they?
No.
Well, that's the way I see it. But that's where we tried to bring out just a nice, easy, good one for a start.
Yeah.
What is it? I think disproportionately for population size, Central Otago and like that Otago Southland region has a disproportionate number of distilleries compared. So what is it about the region that is just producing some absolutely cracking spirits?
It's the region. The air, the beautiful air, the water.
We've got a lot of crafty people, though. More so than anywhere else I've been. And it's the water, it's the quality of ingredients around you. Thank you.
I think that is that's a good question, though. Like I think a lot of people down Central Otago, there to live. They're generally athletic people. They're there to live in the mountains. They're using the mountains. They're using everything, and I guess that's where you're getting out in the wilderness and expressing everyone's feelings of what comes out in the products as well. So all our wines, everything right through, and it's soon to grow. I would have said that the industry is going to grow. So whiskey is going to be the next. Maturating whiskey in Central Otago, that's going to be an absolute ripper.
Yeah, we touched on it before, Tom, that the terroir, the locational flavour of Otago, I think, is better than anywhere else in the world. We've got the high temperatures, the low temperatures, we've got everything in between, and around us, the cleanest, freshest air. We're what, how many metres are we up above the...
We're about 462 above sea level.
Yeah. High as the Port Hills, yeah.
Yeah, so high altitude. If you're thinking of the cleanest and freshest air, that's where it is.
Yeah.
It's nice to see your spirits kind of maturing in that environment.
Yeah, so we're just probably about 7 minutes drive directly out of Arrowtown.
Yeah.
We look directly at Coronet Peak, and in the south we look directly at Remarks, straight up the road to Remarks. So it's certainly
That's pretty awesome.
yeah, so it's certainly pretty cool.
Yeah. Why did you come to Christchurch again?
So are you guys offering tours? Can people come and visit the distillery?
Not yet so much to the public. It is on Stu's property, so obviously if we opened that floodgate, it would be impossible.
Mm-hmm.
We do take tours for those who've requested it. Or you can reach out to us if you're in the hospitality industry and you're serving and selling our spirits. Please do reach out. We'd love to show you how we do things, and it's a personalised.
Yeah.
Guided tour. We'd love to show you guys around if you'd like to come through if you're in Arrowtown.
Absolutely.
There's no secrets. It's just if we opened the door to the public and started charging for it, that's another story. we're not
And
in
then
that
you go down that
situation.
rabbit hole of the billing and
Yeah.
licensing, and like the whole.
Food and kitchens and you name it. It's a
Yeah.
yeah.
You got the people down there for it, though.
Yeah, we've got a beautiful tasting room that we've just opened, as I said, in Dudley's Cottage, and that's directly in front of the dishery. It's an old building from the 1700s. Is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the first structures in Arrowtown.
Yeah.
And we've just opened that as our tasting room. So tasting room come shop, and we can do little tastings in there, and you can book in for something a little bit more I suppose informative if you're wanting a little sit-down tasting as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
All right, so people can still get their fix of...
Oh, we have a mecca.
Come, there you go.
Come and see it.
Perfect.
Yeah. And that was something that we, even though I've been looking around for a long time to try and find a wee patch of Arrowtown that we can, that we can be branded and put our brand in front of everyone else, and that's been hard.
Yeah.
It's been definitely hard in a wee town like that, which is been a fight to get a piece of Arrowtown. And
Everybody wants a piece of it, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not big, and when you're walking down that main street, it is quite crowded. And when you're dealing with heritage buildings, just saying like, "Oh yeah, I'm just going to chuck something up," and I can see local authorities being fairly protective and restrictive around that.
Yeah, no, you just got to fight the real estate agent down there, like there's 3 or 4 real estate agents down the main street going.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
That's good, yeah.
It'll come. It'll come in good time. It'll come.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those things happen when they're meant to, eh?
Yeah.
And it's been a fun process, like yourselves, going through the whole process, but
Yeah.
it's certainly tough. That's
just it.
as well.
People don't realise, how much you got to put into it, especially if you're getting custom bottles and stuff like that. I mean, it's a task, eh? Yeah, I've looked into it, and I haven't got them, but gosh, yeah, they're
I
tough.
like what you do. I like the jar.
The jar,
Yeah, it's clever. It's it feels authentic as well.
Yeah.
In its
Well, that's the
So has
goal,
that got
eh?
a custom wee thing for the straw on the top?
I put on these little pouring tops, and people call them sippy cups. Like you
yeah.
like a little kid or something like that. Most people just drink out of the jar. To be fair, but don't tell everyone that, of course. But yeah.
Do you want to pop open the quartz?
Yeah, let's do it. So, tell us about
This one's the taste of Arrowtown.
This is it. We've tried to take all the flavour from our location and as best we can, we put that into the bottle. You'll see a lot more in the wild thyme for this one. You'll see a little bit of manuka, some mint tip, Douglas fir, elderberry.
Oh wow, yep, that is quite botanical.
Really herbaceous, a nice contemporary.
And this is what we call Central Otago in a bottle, really.
Oh yeah.
So it's subtle, but it stands above your tonic or in a glass as well.
Yeah.
Definitely get that Douglas fir.
Yes.
That's there. Bit of that thyme. You say thyme, eh?
Yeah,
that's
a lot more
definitely-
wild thyme. This one plays a little bit of havoc with you when you're tasting it as well. It kind of goes into this dry and then sweet and then dry. It's a
Moving in waves.
When we first released this one, we won a gold at San Fran Spirits.
Wow.
That's huge. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was really big, and then we won another one last year.
I think we've had the last 3 years, isn't that?
Yeah, two
2
years.
years.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's different, but it's once you mix it, really, wow, it's a good spirit.
This is my soda gin. This is my whenever I'm having like a gin and soda, I tend to rush for this one.
Yeah.
I can do the original into many cocktails, and I like this in my Negronis because it has that little bit of dryness that kind of complements that Campari. Are you saying no, not quite?
Elena's here, everyone. Yeah, come on in. Do you want to try some gin?
Noon somewhere.
Grab yourself a glass in the back when you're ready. Come on out. On the taste, I definitely get this like mint, thyme, rosemary, that sort of thing. Like, like you're eating like almost a lamb supper, but the spice is part of it. Like yeah.
It stays a lot longer with you as well.
Yeah.
It kind of just on the palate just settles and sticks around.
Is there mint? Is there mint in it?
Yep.
Yeah, there is. Totally.
Yeah, it is.
But like I wouldn't say this was like totally out there contemporary. It's quite a still a dry London dry
Yeah,
type of
absolutely.
style. This could be
I
really
like
appealing.
it.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, you want someone to go and smash a bottle, Like in that one there, you can quite easily do,
It disappears.
It disappears.
There's a wee hole in the top of the
Yeah.
glass. That makes,
Disappears responsibly with good company.
Yeah.
Isn't
Yes,
that the?
absolutely.
There we go. There's the disclaimer.
28 little celebrations in a bottle.
So what is the ABV on that one?
42 for both of those.
All right.
Yeah. So we haven't, and we're on the 42 parallel, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
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 I like that one. I think I might like it better than the original. To be fair.
You're in good
Yeah.
company.
I like the original, but this one's just unique, eh? Yeah.
Yeah,
The
it is
spices,
unique.
yeah.
And there's nothing else around to like it.
Yeah.
Like it's
I just like that it's not that far out there. Nothing is particularly like shining through. It's just kind of a nice meld of all those flavors, eh? Like
Yeah.
that mint and thyme especially, those hit me. And there's something else in there. I was not really picking it, but there's something else that's hit. I mean, the Douglas fir on the nose for sure.
Oh yeah, you can't escape that pine on the nose.
Yeah.
But equally, Kenny, I see what you're saying, where my mind is trying to tell me it's dry and sweet, and it can't make up its mind.
Yeah, it's got a lot going on. Once you put some soda or some tonic to it, then you can.
You don't have to
really
be in.
figure
You
it
can
out.
sit on the couch. I'm telling everyone, Elena is our manager here at the Juniper
Hello,
Collective,
Elena.
and she's
Hello.
just snuck
Hello,
in.
Elena.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Can you pass me that bottle of quartz there? Stew man too. Muchas gracias.
Yeah, it's an absolute ripper, this one.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah.
Oh, looks like.
Oh, this is our blue.
Oh, there
Just
we
in
go. We got
time.
another
I was gonna
bottle.
say customers already, you guys. Oh, this is the quartz.
Quartz,
Oh, no,
yeah.
this is wow.
You done? Yeah, you've had this one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. This is my wife, Kate,
Hi, Kate. I'm Tom.
and
Cameron.
Nice to meet you. And
Elena.
Elena.
and obviously Kenny.
Hello, how are you? Good to see you. Sorry to
Feel free if you want to have a seat.
Get out of it.
Right, let's go. That's all good.
And do you wish to join us for a little gin? No. No.
Okay, good coffee.
You're perfect timing. We've just talked on the quartz, so we're just
Oh,
perfectly
nice.
ready
We
for
did
that.
some research last night.
Oh, you did? You got a few.
Yeah, we got a bit of feedback.
You got some feedback?
We've got a bit of feedback from our side of it.
Oh,
You've
you've
been
been
looking through town. You
Yeah.
know, we went out in town. a couple
Oh,
of
I
times.
see. I
It was
see.
daylight night last night. So,
right, okay,
so
doing
we
research
ditched the
and-
kids and
Just hit the button if you want to get out. Yeah.
Thanks, Kate. You're the best.
went out on the strip. Look out. So,
Perfect.
That was perfect timing. Well done, Kate.
All right.
Yeah, she done good.
So what kind of feedback have you gotten about this one? Because it's quite different to the classic, but as you say, it's not like a pink gin or especially fruity, or it's not a navy strength. It's nothing like. It's different, but it's not.
bit of a savoury gin, I'd say. You know, like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah, a bit more on the herbaceous.
herbaceous side, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, almost like a mince pie, like with all your spices in the mince pie.
But I'm not getting a meatiness.
No,
It's not
no,
like a
not
sulfury
meatiness.
Oh,
meatiness.
no, like mince pie fruit, mince pie.
pie
Yeah,
fruit,
Christmas,
yes.
Christmas mince pie.
okay. I'm
Mincemeat pie.
Sorry, this is New Zealand. I got to remember to tell everyone.
Not steak and cheese.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he was talking about roast lamb before, and I was getting everything except the lamb.
No, but I mean, if you put that gin with a lamb dinner, I mean, that would go so well. Like, come on.
It does have that sort of mint jelly sort of
Yes.
feel to it.
Yeah.
Feedback for this has been good. It tends to be when we take these out on the road, the quartz is usually the one that takes the cake. If we go out with equal amounts of everything, we will come home with less quartz than anything, or at least that has been the case for the most part. That's changing.
Yeah, and I think, I definitely think the weather plays a big part of what, show you go to or something. One day you'll do a dry, and the next day you'll do a quartz, and then the other day you do a royal or a blue gold, or, that's not...
I get the same thing, totally, yeah.
But I think
The day.
a lot of people, one of their big take-homes is that they are so different to each other. And of course, the obvious is like, why else would we make them? If you're making the same thing again and again and again, well, no one's gonna want to try them. And as Stu says, if someone was to pick up a bottle of our spirit and dislike it, that's not good for our brand, our market. So if we are confident in what we're producing and keep ourselves to that high standard all the time, well, we're gonna have happy customers, and we have a lot of really, really good support and following. Rifters, the brand, is just kind of a little steamroller. She's
starting to grow.
Yeah,
It's awesome.
she really is.
Yeah.
Good buggers only, really.
That should be your tagline.
Yeah.
I was going to say, between the first one and the second one, I do have that similar note of Fruit Loops on the taste. And I don't know I need to figure out what that is, because we've done a couple podcasts now, and every so often I smell Fruit Loops, or like I taste it, like the cereal, the kids' cereal.
There's just a wee
It's
bit
like a
there.
bit
I'm
of
not
that,
sure
like,
if I've had it before.
fruity sweetness, but yeah, between the two of them, I taste it in both of them, which is interesting. That's the common note for me between the two of them.
That could be the grain.
But in on the taste, not on the nose. So if that's
Where are you getting your grain from?
We get it from locally up here. We were getting it through Aussie for a start, for a company over there, but then we've just got it through a supplier here in the South Island.
yeah.
That obviously imported.
Yeah,
Yeah, we haven't started distilling our own spirit as yet. We're bringing it in. We're cards on the table kind of folks. It's not really in our wheelhouse just yet. It's a bit of a big project. We start mashing in. And
As you well know, you probably need another 10
Yeah.
10 million put on the table.
and that 4.5 too much hectares or acres might not be enough.
Yeah, grain spirit's a different story once you got to make it. So I get 30 bottles out of my grain spirit one. So don't get any ideas. It's not a good idea. Yeah.
So how do you create a $2 million business?
You start with 4.
Start with 4.
Mate, in the spirits game, I reckon start with 6.
Probably fair. Yeah.
Oh, with that glass empty, I'm now getting a real cracked pepper
Yep.
that I wasn't getting before. That's, I guess that would have to be what I'd say
Black pepper,
about
there's black
the
peppercorns in there, yeah.
about. Sorry, quartz is your dry, and this no, quartz is this one. Yeah. That. And I mean, you kind of threw it out there, Kenny, as an offhanded comment about just changing, but it did. Every time I've gone back in, there's been something else, and something else has kind of jumped out.
You get used to it and it changes your mind again.
Yes, yeah. There has been it's been an evolving experience through the glass.
Isn't that nice though in gin? I mean, we find, personally, I find that with whiskies all the time. And in gins, they can be a little bit sort of two-dimensional sometimes. But when you've created something with grain spirit, and when you've put so much into, you can have an evolution. As you say, an empty glass. One of my favorite things with a whiskey is an empty glass. When you've got that after the evening, and you just go back to it, everything has changed. Everything has kind of come together, and it's something different. I
was talking to Mark from Elsewhere Gin just yesterday, and we were talking about, because he's got this idea that gin, most gins are that two-dimensional, one-dimensional, very yeah, you get that flavor and you're done, you know. And so he's been talking about how he really wants to get more of that whiskey-dom, you know, into gin. And
Those layers.
Yeah, the layers.
Yeah.
You want to be able to sit there and pick apart different things, you know, and really just enjoy it, eh? So, but
Yeah.
yeah, this sort of, that one hits the mark for that, I'd say. Yeah.
Sometimes one flavor might overtake,
Yeah.
and I think that's probably where a lot of gins kind of lose out a little bit. We try and balance them all in. Morgan does a fantastic job at distilling. She has a real thoughtfulness when it comes to putting the spirits together and making sure that the recipes kind of followed. She's methodical. That's good.
What size is the still?
Teeny tiny.
We're just using a little 100 litre
Seriously?
whiskey still at the moment.
Wow.
Yeah, pot still,
Yeah.
like an only mixed still. So,
Wow, okay.
so we're just about due to upgrade to a column, 300 litre column. So,
Wow.
That arrived into
That's
the
still
country.
not-
so
big,
we've
yeah.
got it. Well, we're just here.
Good
just,
on you. Jeez.
And like going back to your flavours and everything, like you said before, it's quite cool how there's probably not many spirits on the market that use every part of the tree. You know, you go to like your roots, your barks, your leaves, your berries, your fruits. You know, like what else is there out there that actually uses it? So it's pretty cool when you actually break it down.
It's totally fair.
Yeah,
Never even thought of it that.
yeah. So it is pretty cool.
All right, I want to try this one.
Yeah, we're in for a roller coaster. The big blue gold.
Now this one's 40.2% ABV.
Yeah, yeah.
I can open this one?
Yeah, please.
And this is something interesting, you know, like we've gone from quartz, so the name quartz came from obviously our rock around the basin, and then we've gone to the blue gold, which is a type of
This is actually-
gold that is in the
Actually blue.
It is indeed blue.
I didn't actually know that.
The newest and bluest gin we've ever made.
and we wanted to throw this one out there.
Oh, yeah.
This one's big, it's bold, it's different than anything else.
It's got a lot going on, and it's an Oriental style. So we've gone down a different road altogether. We've gone a little bit. Should I tell you? But botanicals.
Go for it.
So Szechuan. There's a little bit of makrut or kaffir lime. We've got lemongrass, licorice, star anise. It is the Chinese gold miner. That was what we tried to embody, a persona, and where we are in Arrowtown, and we know it. The history books tell the story of all these rifters around us, and we wanted to tell that story too. Butterfly pea flower, obviously for colour.
Right.
You know, it's nice to have a little bit of theatre
Yeah.
with the
You change
gin that we're making.
Yeah, you get the color change.
Yeah.
I guess, yeah.
Loves a tonic.
Yeah.
Absolutely adores a tonic. It has a touch more sweetness to it because of that licorice root also.
Hey, and this one's not for everyone.
No.
This one's you'll either absolutely love it,
Yeah.
or you don't like it at all. You know, like it's different. It's definitely different.
I love those gins when you go to the shows and you're saying like, okay, now don't worry if you don't like it. You know, we
Yeah.
know
It's not everyone's.
You'll either like it or you
Yeah.
won't, and we're okay
Yeah.
with that. You know.
And that was why this one was designed, just to be a bit bigger and a bit bolder and get it out there.
Yeah.
I love that lime leaf. That's the for me straight away. The licorice comes through when you're adding to it. When you add your tonics and so on, that's a delicate little licorice sweetness in the background.
I definitely had that sort of Asian spice to start with. That was kind of the first thing that hit me, and then now I'm getting into more of that lime, for sure.
Star anise, sort of.
So what was the decision behind this to go to 40.2 versus 42, like your others?
Well, probably a bit of
No.
excise tax, as you well know. It's the bane on everyone's side.
She's going up and up and up, and she never looks like she's going to stop.
You know, where's that going to stop?
Only you can buy shares in excise, eh?
You know she's going to win.
Yeah.
Do you have a little drop of tonic?
Do we have some tonic around?
Just a little one. I do love this one with tonic, and that's my guilty pleasure. And you know, a good gin and tonic, it's really what most of the gin drinkers are aiming towards
Yeah.
anyway. And we all appreciate them as straight spirits. It's nice to appreciate them as straight spirits, but at the end of the day, we kind of tend to eventually get to
The taste has got
Bits.
this huge warming sensation for the mouth. I don't know what that is, but whoa, my whole mouth is warm.
that's the
Suddenly.
Szechuan.
Is it?
So you got that anesthesia sort of effect,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
feeling of yeah.
Do you want some? Gone purple, of course.
Because yes, that is the thing, and we've spoken about this before, and the number of comments that we've gotten. I mean, just from adding water to whiskey, or there was one time we were experimenting with all the different types of old fashions that we could make, and people were like, "What are you doing, adding stuff?" But for the vast majority of people who are coming in here and buying gins are not sipping them neat. So you've got to be able to create an experience that stands up to when you add a mixer to it.
You know, like, and then, you know, like we went out last night as well, and everything that was poured was on a post mix. So, you know, like, that's obviously you know, not your best tonic in the world, but I mean, it still sits well with any you know, mixer really.
What is your favourite tonic with it? Do you have a favourite
Well, we do have an affinity for East Imperial. We love the story, and we love all that they've done, and we say that with a bit of sadness as well.
Yeah. I think our courts sat really well with the yuzu, East Imperial yuzu.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, apparently we might still be getting it. We
Oh, really?
were told the
I
other
hope
day.
so. I hope so.
Apparently the New Zealand one's not in as much trouble as we were led to believe. It's the more the UK one. So we'll have to keep an eye on that.
Bit of overseas investment, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's turned into a real savoury
Yeah.
experience.
I love it with food. When you're having Thai food, Chinese food, Indian food, anything really that comes from the Orient. That
You want some tonic?
It's quite, I find it quite different with this tonic. This one here is quite, it comes through a little bit.
That's not sorry, I'm not famous, but I do want to see what you It does make it sweeter.
Yeah, there's definitely licorice and
Then a bit of ice will open it up again, you know,
that is
cool it down.
It's a pickle for sure. You could sit with that and figure it out, eh?
Funnily enough, pickle.
Yes.
Yeah, I've done it. So one of my favorite drinks to make with this is a Tom Collins, but in a style of the Danish Tom Collins, and I've got a couple of teaspoons of pickle brine in the drink, and pickles and this gin they work. It's a strange that salinity, that little bit of
I could see
saline,
that. Totally.
brings out more flavor. I'll make you one later. Make you one too. Yeah.
So what's your background? You've said you've got some experience in the alcohol industry. What are you bringing into Rifters?
So hospitality has been my game for the longest of times. I've been since I was 16, 17. I think I probably, when I was 16, I was a sommelier in a restaurant in Ireland. So without ever being allowed to taste the alcohol, I had to understand and know all the information on.
16?
Yeah.
Nope.
No, but
He obviously looked older than that.
I still do, yeah, a lot. And I've kind of followed the alcohol game in hotel management, bar management, and so on. Cocktails really is where I find a lot of pleasure in creating and crafting classics, but then little riffs on the classics. So, you know, something like this, and working with a gin brand that has such great bones to it, a spirits brand where you can take something, and the name in itself says it's a rifter. You can have a little rift on something and put in a few extra ingredients, change things up a little bit. I love this. Your comments on the old fashioned. You know, there's a reason why it's called the old fashioned, and it's why you shouldn't put more things into it. But at the same breath, I love adding a little bit extra and changing the direction slightly.
But it's the difference between if you use a simple syrup or a maple syrup, or maybe you've made like a cinnamon simple syrup, and like all of those kinds of things that you can make. And I mean, it's well known that whiskey journalist and all-round legend Dave Broom loves a smoky cokey, where he gets a 10-year-old Lafroig and puts it in Coke.
Yeah.
And that experience is going to be completely different if you were to use a different kind of whiskey.
Yeah.
And I think there's still some education to be done to say, what did somebody say to me the other day? Because I was saying, you know, if you use crappy spirits in a cocktail, you're going to end up with a crappy cocktail. And his reply was, would you enter your classic car in a demolition derby? And I'm like,
Touche.
I'm like, I don't know. I've had a lot of fun in Demolition doing these.
But there is a lot to be said for the cocktail maker, though. If he can take a spirit that's not necessary and lift it and raise it, obviously we're in a wonderful scenario where we can use the best gins in the world to make our cocktails, and to craft something that's elevated. But I'm not offended using a lesser spirit for a cocktail.
Yeah.
And I guess where, how defined is the average person's palate to understand that, I guess you've got to be pretty good to find the difference in it.
Yeah.
When you're putting sugar water in there, is it, at the end of it, whether that's through your maple syrup or through your sugar and water, or even a little Stone's ginger wine, or a bit of Stone's.
Especially on a colder night, for sure.
Yeah, we were talking about the rum and the whiskey mac when I first arrived. Yeah, there's something to be said for it.
Yeah. So I want to know what else is there anything else in the works at Rifters?
Well, we've got a Royal, so that's our Navy strength. 57.7. That's grapefruit forward. So that's an absolute banger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you got that one now, or is it?
Yep. So that gets you to a good place in a quick time.
Responsibly.
We've had a barrel age that we've just run into the end of now, which was in a Central Otago Pinot barrel for 1 year. So currently we've got some that's on cask at the moment. That's been there for over a year at the moment. So we're just going to sit there and hold that. Probably release another one soon, and obviously different wineries from our Central Otago region, bring different flavours through. So it's quite interesting, like we've got 3 different casks and we've got 3 totally different flavours coming through on the same gin. So predominantly we put the quartz into those casks to bring those cool flavours through. So
Vodka. That's actually probably our next string to the bow. We'll be launching that. The plan was to have it launched this month, but it'll probably be next month, gauging from the labels that are coming to us. But that's quite nice. A lovely, clean Central Otago vodka with a hint soupçon of thyme. Just again, that little touch of savoury to it.
Yeah.
That's exciting for us.
That is exciting.
It's honestly, it's the best martini gin you will ever taste. It's great.
Vodka.
Yeah, vodka martini.
Yeah.
Gin. Apologies.
That's all right.
Yeah, the best vodka martini you will taste.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, that's great to hear.
yeah, we have been toiling away with something in the background in our cask. So
It'll take a few more years.
Yeah.
take a few more years.
Yeah.
That's homegrown.
Yeah.
The grain's homegrown, so
Awesome.
you'll find out a bit more about that.
I hope you'll contact us as soon as you got a sample for it.
Yeah,
We'd like
well,
to-
yeah, definitely. Like it's, we've had I guess, how far can you go? We've got a wee bit sitting there that's been down for 18 months, and it's, and I can really see the Central Otago. We don't want to tell too many secrets, but the old the Central Otago atmosphere is certainly starting to play a good part of it.
Yeah.
I think that's been interesting, especially having the grain grown in our local area.
Yeah.
Probably as close as any distillery would have to their backyard.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's,
I just don't think it can be quite overstated for people who aren't familiar with Central Otago is that as a region in summer to be getting upwards of 35 degrees in the peak of summer, it gets really dry because it's so inland and really hot. But of course, where we are right now with ski season, and you've got all of the mountains around, and that temperatures of below freezing for multiple days at a time, again, is not uncommon. And so if we're talking aging anything in a barrel, you get the extreme ends of both that hot and that cold multiple times in a year.
Monumental shifts.
Yeah. Monumental shifts. I just don't think for anybody who isn't quite as familiar year-round with Central Otago, that just can't. It's a very, very active player in whatever you are making down there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. No, you did right, and that's. I mean, we have 4 seasons in one day really. So, and it's a true statement.
It makes good spirits. It does.
We've stuck to the 200 litre barrels as well, so we're pretty happy on that they're doing their task pretty well.
Are you doing that out of your little 100 litre still too?
No, we actually took it to someone else for a bit of contract.
Yeah.
Because we're just not big enough.
I was going to say, because I've got a 250 litre still, and I can't fill it.
No, and that was a defining decision that we needed to make. You know, to get someone to help us out.
Yeah.
The grain came up to Gladfield, and Gladfield malted it, and then we took it down south to do the rest of it.
Nice.
So it's So later on this year, you'll find out a bit more information on that. You'll see it across the news spread, I'd say.
Well, if you want to chat to us about it, we'd be keen. So.
Yeah, no, definitely, and it's
even
it's
if you're not here in
pretty
Christchurch,
exciting.
we'll get you on the video or something like that. That'd be fun.
Send you a little sample.
Yeah.
And it's a new game for us. Gin's predominantly been our starting point. So going into the whiskey. Am I allowed to say that?
You did. You've done it.
The whiskey, the single malt industry is a whole new side shift for us, and it's pretty exciting where it goes and where it can lead you. And it's certainly, I think, bringing to markets and everyone else, it changes your whole.
You're well positioned for it, I'd say. That's good.
It's really, really exciting times ahead.
Yeah.
And we're not going to be this massive huge producer. It's going to be reasonably boutique and but good. It's got to be good, and that's our philosophy. You can't release anything into it. You don't want to damage that reputation again.
No, exactly.
No, it's hard earned and easily lost for sure.
Yeah, it is. It's like putting on weight. Easy to put on. Actually hard to get rid of.
This week in Christchurch,
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Well, look, you can get this. I guess you can get this. Can you get it from your website?
Yeah, you can, and all the best bottle stores in New Zealand will have our gins also,
including the Juniper Collective here in Christchurch.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Quick plug.
Yep.
And this has been pretty exciting to be part of. Thanks very much for hosting it.
Hey, thanks for coming up and chatting and letting us try it all.
Awesome. Really appreciate you having us. It's been something really to look forward to for us as well.
Yeah,
and many more.
You were actually a listener of the podcast, which was quite cool.
I've listened to every episode so far. So you guys, I know.
He got through some of the worst of it. He told me, he said that, we got through the bad audio, and the audio is much better now. So I'm happy to hear that.
Yeah, you take the criticism and you make things better. It's good. And your guests have been fantastic up until today.
I wasn't going to say anything. If I can just come back to that blue gold, and it's duck, it's plum, Sichuan pepper. That has just turned into, and my glass is empty. And talking about, the last one was a real kind of cracked pepper, but it's almost a Chinese meal in a glass. That is remarkable. No,
it's a wonder try.
Colour me a fan. Yeah, absolutely.
It's quite different, and that was what we wanted to do. It was different than anyone else, So it's easy to be like everyone else, isn't it? So just try to perceive to be different. And be different.
Good on you guys.
Big bold blue gold.
Big bold blue gold.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to recommend that people take a trip down to Arrowtown, walk along the main street, find your tasting rooms.
We're down in Dudley, so just below in the old Chinese village.
Yeah.
Yep.
Look for the Chinese village and you'll find us.
Yeah. Perfect.
It's not very big.
Yeah.
7x3. So,
okay.
You can swing a cat in there easy enough.
Oh, Stu.
you scream builder every time you talk. You're like the whiteboard. Oh yeah, no, I've got the measurements for that. No, I've got the measurements for that as well.
It's got it's quite funny, everyone struggles with simple. I believe, keep things simple. Like everyone tries to be sophisticated, but just fucking bang it up and keep it simple. And, it can look really good, but people struggle to do that these days, I reckon.
Yeah.
So
that's fair enough.
Yeah.
For a simple gin that's outstandingly good,
It is.
we've got to go Rifters.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
There we go. Let's end it on that. I don't think I can do any better. Let's end it on that.
No, you've done well.
I'll give you the final spiel, everybody. You can follow us on Distil-Nation NZ at Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all that good stuff. Send us an email, distilnationnz@gmail.com, and you can check out the website, distilnation.nz, and check out Rifters as well.
Yeah, where can people go to find out more about you?
Riftersgin.com is the best, and then Rifters Gin on Insta, on Facebook. I guess just Google Rifters. You'll find us. If they really want to know a lot more, come and find us. We love a yarn.
Yeah,
we love it. We love a chat.
Yeah. And you can always come see us at the Juniper Collective. We'll have some samples here to try, and now we know all about it, so we got no reason not to talk about it. So thanks, guys.
Thank you so much.
very much.
Cheers.
Awesome.